Hey friends, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Fit Life Orange County. And before I introduce today's guest, I want to give you a friendly reminder to give us a like, give us a subscribe on YouTube, write us an amazing review on iTunes. That way we can keep producing this content for you for free. So to introduce today's guest, who's been a long time and dear friend of our Fit Body Bootcamp location since 2015. And she joined our program, and she's going to teach you a few different specific strategies on how to lose 50 pounds, but more importantly, to look great and feel amazing. Miss Tena Kenny, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Fit Life Orange County, a show dedicated to busy men and women focused on taking back control of their fitness and their lives with the help from ideas and programs from local experts here in Orange County. Here are your hosts, Bryce Henson and Jake Stewart.
All right, Tena, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bryce. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So excited to have you. Been looking
happy
forward
to
to
be
this
here.
a while. And you've been part of Fit Body Shoot since 2015, I want to say. Would that be fair to say?
2016 I joined. Mhm.
Okay. Well, my first question, if you could just share with the audience, what's your fitness background and really, how'd you hear about Fit Body?
Okay. Well, throughout my whole adult life, I've been a wannabe athlete, athletically fit person, but it didn't happen. I joined probably 3 gyms, a circuit training program. I had a private coach all throughout my lifetime. I did do a boot camp in my 60s, which really turned me on to a whole new platform of exercise that I really loved. And I just didn't stick with that one long enough because I was still working.
Okay.
But when I retired, one of my first commitments was to get my body in order and get my house in order.
Body and house.
Yep. So I clean closets and I clean me, So I decided that was one of my first goals, was to get involved in a program. And the first thing I did was join the YMCA through the Silver and Fit program with Medicare.
Okay.
And it did exactly what I needed it to. It got me moving.
Okay.
It wasn't enough. It just got me moving for a few months. But then I knew I need to step it up because I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be more flexible. I wanted to have more stamina. And so I knew that I needed to find a new program. And ironically, I saw on Facebook a promotion for Fit Body Forever.
Yes.
With Fit Body in Yorba Linda. And it was a 28-day for $28. I thought, I could afford that, and it's not a big commitment. I'll give it a try. And first couple of days, I was hooked. And I knew I wanted to join the program long term.
Well, what about it was interesting to you, and what were you looking for? What was your goal in joining Fit Body Forever?
Well, I knew that the other programs didn't work. The gyms, the big box stores, that kind of stuff didn't work for me. I didn't need a personal trainer. I really enjoyed the group activity. So when I came for that first trial period, the group that was leaving, which was the active group in the program at the time, were so encouraging and so excited about it. They says, you can do this for 30 minutes. Anybody can do this. It's really a good program. I've gotten so much out of it. And just that encouragement, along with me going through the assessment program and understanding, because I was in really bad shape. I was 50 pounds heavier than I am now. I was not able to do a whole lot physically, functionally. And I just knew that a change was in order. And with their encouragement, and I think one thing that solidified it for me was the camaraderie. It was the group effort, because we all were very supportive, and that has not changed at all in all these years. But the diversity of the exercises, how you could tailor them to where you're at the moment so that you can get better as you go along was encouraging to me, because you walk into a gym and you think you've got to be like everybody else. The expectation is you're going to stand out if you're not out there doing the same number of reps everybody else is doing. So I just knew that it was kind of like a home for me. It's home base where I can really do what I want to do at the level I can do it and get better as time goes on.
That's awesome, Tena. How would you describe Fit Body Forever? So if someone, hasn't heard about the program before, and they haven't maybe exercised in a while, what's the experience like when you come in, as a coaches, you were with people, can you describe your experience, to describe like a workout?
Well, I have actually encouraged one of my friends, and I think she's come to your facility here to give it a check out. But they have seen in me, the results. They've already seen me in my body being testimony to the way the program works. And they hear me testify that it's so much fun and it's so doable, it's a commitment anybody can keep, And the part that I like to expand on with them is that you're not stuck. You go in for a purpose, and you are your best cheerleader in some cases because you have to challenge yourself to do better each time you go. And you can modify when you're not up to speed at the moment, or you can, just ask for alternative exercise completely if your arm isn't hurting or if your arm's hurting or something like that. But I tell them to look at it as a way to be kind to yourself, to do something for you that is totally manageable and doable, and you will see results if you stick it out. You have to be committed. You can't just show up whenever you want to. You really should come on a regular basis, and I rarely miss boot camp unless I have a commitment.
What's your commitment look like? Is it 3 times a week?
3 times a week, 30 minutes at a time, 30 to 45. I mean, we always get there early and we always stay late. So we do a lot of warm-ups, we do a lot of cool downs, and we talk a lot. We like to visit a lot because the people are so wonderful.
That camaraderie you mentioned.
The camaraderie and the coaches it's a family, very family-oriented environment.
So I want to talk about your results, which you alluded to. But before I do, I also want to talk about your hesitancies and concerns, because let's face it, human nature, we all have those. So from your perspective, Tena, when you were first learning about Fit Body Forever, or you saw the advertisement for it, you were certainly interested, but you also had some probably hesitancies, concerns. Well, what were those?
Well, like anybody who starts something new by themselves, you can easily talk yourself out of stepping into that environment because I don't know anybody, I've never done this before, this is probably a waste of money, a waste of time. You can get very negative thinking if you're not motivated completely. I think I look at it as a choice. You have lots of choice. Every day in your life of the day, every minute of the day, you're making choices. So you have a choice of saying, especially at our ages, when the bodies are kind of in decline, and little bit aches and pains are happening. You have a choice of saying, I don't feel like it today, and giving into the pain, and then just letting it be worse. Because the key to aging with some grace and some functional ability is to keep moving. Just keep moving. And it doesn't even mean you have to lift weights. It doesn't mean you have to, do all the strenuous stuff, but you have to keep moving. So if you make a choice, as I did, I said, my mother lived with me the last 12 years of her life, and she sat for 12 years. With no matter how hard I encouraged her to just walk to the mailbox and get the mail, just to get up out of your chair and move. Her mindset wasn't there. And I just said, I'm not going to sit up my senior years. So I was hesitant because it was something new, and I didn't know anybody, and I didn't know what the financial burden would be. There were lots of what ifs, but I says, yeah, but I need to make a choice for me and do the right thing for my benefit. And
that you did.
And I did it. Don't regret it a single minute.
Well, that's awesome. Now I want to talk a little bit about the results. You talked about, you 50 pounds you losing. So I'm curious if you could paint a picture for the audience. Where were you at physically, before joining Fit Body Forever, and then how has things changed? And also not even just the physical results, but one thing you mentioned, trying to encourage your mom was the mindset. I was curious if, you received any other benefits aside just from a physical, transformation. So what do your results look like?
Well, when I retired from work in 2015, I was 50 pounds overweight, and I had no idea I was, because I was at a sedentary job, and you just eat at the desk and you work 12 hours a day. And, I retired at 68 and a half, and it was a lifestyle then. It just became normal. And I didn't have any idea how overweight I was until I thought about it. I gave it some thought. And the first year after boot camp, after retirement, I went on an adventure camp of sorts, and I climbed a 30-foot telephone pole at 50 pounds overweight.
Wow.
And it was an exercise you had to get through, and you had a harness on, it was safe and all. But I almost died doing it. And so I knew that I had to make a change, and my physical condition then was the worst it's ever been. And so since then I've lost the weight, but I've also, the mindset does change. I mean, I think everything begins with the mindset, to be honest with you. If you're not conscious of, if you don't have mindful eating habits, you're going to overeat. You're going to eat the wrong things. If you aren't mindful about, you have a commitment to work out, you're going to let it slide, So I have learned through boot camp that everything I do is a decision, and it could be a good one or a bad one. And sometimes they're bad, that's life. But it has put me in a place where I'm more mindful of everything I do, of every decision I make. Even at boot camp, if I have my back is tight, I am very mindful that I'm not going to do, certain exercises that day. I don't have to have the coach tell me. And I will say to her, do you mind giving me an alternative because of these reasons? I wouldn't have done that in the past. I would have just gone for it because somebody told me to. And I probably would have injured myself. So you learn a lot about your body. You learn about your lifestyle habits. You learn about being kind to yourself and being good for you, not just for everybody else. You are important too, and that's boot camp has just been a life changer for me in a holistic way.
Oh, that's awesome. What's up, my friend? Coach Bryce here. Now, you might know me as the co-host of this podcast and the owner of Mission Viejo Fit Body. But what many people don't know is that I began my journey as a fitness transformation story. You see, circuit training and nutrition coaching absolutely changed my life after being overweight with a diet of mainly fast food in my late teens. Now, upon my fitness transformation in early 2007, yes, I gained a much better physique as I was overweight and lacked lean muscle. But way more than burning fat and building lean muscle, I increased my confidence, my energy, and my vibrancy to live life. And it's for these reasons that many people join our boot camp. In fact, with our Ultimate Transformation Program, we guarantee that you will lose at least 15 pounds in 12 weeks, or your program is free until you do. Now go ahead and visit our website at missionviejofitbody.com. Now thanks, and back to the show. Next question. I love how you're just such an empowered woman about, you have choices in life, and we do. And one of the things that I see is in life is you have your choice of hard. Life is hard and it's easy. And at the end of the day, you get to choose your hard. And what I mean by that, it's hard being out of shape. It's hard living a sedentary lifestyle, more long-term. That's easier short-term. But it's also hard working out and challenging yourself. But then if you choose that hard, it becomes easier long-term. So from the choosing hard at the front, which is basically working out, what would you say is the hardest part about boot camp, the hardest part about Fit Body Forever? And it could be now or looking back when you first started, but I'm just curious to, be real with our audience. What's the most challenging part so they have a good level of expectation?
Oh, gosh. That's a tough question because I've adapted to it pretty fairly easily because I want to. I mean, I wasn't resistant after I got through the door, and I haven't been, I can remember the first time I woke up in the morning and said, oh boy, it's boot camp day, and I was eager to go. Now, up until that point, it was still a challenge to convince myself to get out of bed and get yourself ready in the morning and get going. So I think the hardest part for me was probably just getting to that point where it became a lifestyle choice. And I didn't even think about it. I just knew it was Monday morning at 10 o'clock and I got to hit the road, So being consistent with it hasn't been challenging, but I can see how it could be. It depends on your life circumstances. Yeah. I wished I had done this in my 30s and in my 40s. But I didn't, and I had all kinds of reasons, and most of them were scheduling and family and, other commitments. But So I can see for some people that are very active, trying to fit it in might be a problem, but it wasn't for me. I don't know, Bryce. I really can't come up with something that was difficult for me to adapt to because I was ready for it, you know?
Good for you.
Yeah.
Love that. All right, well, next question. We talked a little bit about the results that you've achieved with the 50 pounds and feeling better. But what would you say would be an unexpected benefit to the program? Because the reason I ask this is most people, when they try to a new program, they're looking to lose weight or maybe to feel better, be general healthier, which you've done in spades. But is there an unexpected benefit, maybe meeting coaches, the camaraderie, friendships, whatever the case may be, that you didn't really expect prior to joining FitBody Forever, but when you look back, you're like, oh wow, I'm so grateful for this. I had no idea, but my life has benefited from this.
Well, yes, I didn't expect that my life, excuse me, I didn't expect that my life on an overall basis in the holistic sense would change as much as it did. I did expect some change in body formation. I didn't know that I'd lose all that weight. And I still have a few more pounds I'd like to use, so I'm not done. But what I really didn't expect was that boot camp and the influence it has had on my life, both physically and mentally, would become such a mainstream in my life that that I don't even think about it. It's a lifestyle change that happened gradually over time, but it came naturally because it is a new lifestyle. It's not just go to the gym. It's go to the gym, have a social outlet, which I love, but at the same time, work hard. Don't just show up because you walk through the door. Show up for you when you get on that floor, because you've got to challenge yourself to do a little bit heavier weight next week, and you've got to try to do a few more reps or a couple more rounds, or I see people even now and sometimes in boot camp that walk through the door and it's social time and they're really happy to be there and they go through the motions. But I tell them, I says, you could take another 2 pounds on that weight, I says, you'd be surprised what you could do when you challenge yourself. And they do, they try it, and they, wow, I guess I can handle 12-pounder, So I see it as something it motivates me to challenge myself, not only in the gym, but in life. I mean, because I think, well, I did that, why can't I do this, Because oftentimes we talk ourselves out of doing things for fear or, just habit, I don't know. And I have a long way to go being a bigger person than I am. But I attribute that all to boot camp with the change in my mindset in how I approach challenges and how I look at life sometimes in general.
I love that. And that's the purpose. Our mission here at FitBody is to inspire fitness and change lives, and really changing lives, because to your point, it's a holistic approach. Fitness has such a positive benefit on the physical body, but the emotional body, the spirit, just the overall life. So just really, really excited to hear that, because that's really accomplishes our mission. Now, my next question for you, Tena, would be, this is being released and inspiring people in 2023, and certainly you've come a long way and have done an incredible amount of progress in terms of your goals. What would you say for you in 2023 is a health and fitness goal that you have for this year?
Well, I would say for certain, my goal will be probably more on the nutrition side of wellness, as opposed to, I will definitely keep up my boot camp exercise routine, and I will definitely challenge myself to do better and more each time, with each session, so that I can get stronger and more fit. But nutrition is something I want to work on in terms of making sure, like I know I need to eat more protein. I know where I'm deficient. I'm losing weight, but I hope I'm not losing muscle mass at the same time.
Yeah.
So I want to be more prepared for eating more healthily. I do eat mindfully, but it's not always healthy. I know that. So my goal is to work on my nutrition plan.
That's great. Well, it's good that you have that awareness and something to work towards.
Mhm.
Well, Miss Tina, you've been so gracious with your time. We still have a few more minutes left for the lightning round if you're up for it.
Sure.
All right, so for the lightning round, and
Okay.
speaking of nutrition, would love to hear your perspective, Tina, on your favorite healthy meal, but also on the other side of the coin, what's your favorite cheat meal as well?
Well, I love shrimp. Shrimp I eat a lot, or fish, fish products. That's my healthy go-to kind of eating. My cheat stuff would be a pizza. I love pizza.
It's the guilty pleasure, huh?
Yeah, pizza's it.
What about from a working out and a Fit Body Forever perspective when you're at boot camp? What is your favorite exercise? And then what's the exercise like you like to avoid like the plague?
My favorite's probably squats or kettlebell squats, stuff like that, where I can really keep the booty strong. And my least favorite would be anything probably aerobic. You know, I'm not big on aerobics.
The cardiovascular.
Yeah, I mean, I can do the rower. That's okay. I love those air machines, but that's not my favorite aerobic. Anything aerobic.
Okay. Well, this is a local health and fitness show here in Orange County, so also have some just lifestyle questions for you in this beautiful place in California that we live in. What would you say, Tina, from your lens, is one of your favorite spots to hang out and relax in Orange County?
I love Seal Beach.
Oh.
Seal, I have a friend that lives there, and we go to her house and walk from her house to down the pier and hang out on Main Street, and I love Seal Beach.
Oh, cool. Now for those travelers out there, aside from Orange County, what's your favorite city in the U.S. that's not local?
You know, any city in the mountains. I'm a mountain girl
Yeah?
more than a beach girl. Yeah. So take me to Lake Tahoe or Big Bear or, you know, any city where there's a beautiful mountain. Redwood Forest up in Northern California is beautiful.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How about your favorite band or favorite song?
Oh my God. Music. My favorite, I love Billy Joel. And my favorite song is And So It Goes. I cry every time I hear that song.
Oh, poor thing.
It's a beautiful song.
Cool. What about your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a big one in my family.
Good. We were just talking offline that you have a party every December 23rd, I think you
Yeah.
mentioned.
Everyone's invited.
There we go. All right, my last two questions for you, Miss Tina, and so appreciative. And this is for audience, just your parting piece of wisdom. So certainly someone's watching this or listening to this and kind of similar to you, know they need a change. You were talking about this in 2015. Know you need a change, but for whatever reason, there's hesitancy, there's concern. That's just human nature. What would you say to that person watching or listening today?
Well, I've learned that the best way to look at life is to appreciate that. I mean, you could take it down to the second, but let's go with a day. Every day counts. Every cotton picking day counts. Every minute counts, but let's take it up to a day. And I brought you a poem I wanted you to have, but it's a poem that changed my life 40 years ago when I was at the lowest level of my life, you know, starting over again with two little girls. And it's called A New Day. And it's so profound because it really points to you that, you know, when this day is gone forever, something will be left in its place. And you've traded a day of your life for it. And I live that philosophy, you know, and I would tell people about boot camp, you know, that when you come to boot camp, make it count. You know, every day counts. When you leave boot camp, whatever you do counts. But, you know, we all can make the world a better place by making it what you do matter, you know. And in the case of boot camp, you know, it matters to you, for your body, for your health. And of course, others benefit because you're in a healthy place. So I would just say, don't take any day for granted, you know, because, and I don't mean it in the morbid sense, you know, I mean it in a way of elevating your life and cherishing the gift that you have for another day of life, you know, so make every day count.
Sage wisdom.
Yeah. That comes with age.
Well, there you go. And I've always been attracted to age and wisdom and mentors, so that's definitely have enjoyed our relationship in this conversation, and certainly our audience has as well.
Good.
So, Ms. Tena, my last question, and this is the title of the name of the podcast, is The Fit Life Orange County. So what would you say from your lens and your perspective, living a fit life means to you?
Well, again, as we become seniors, I think our goal is to be functionally fit. I don't expect I'm ever going to run a marathon or I'm ever going to do an Ironman, but I do want to be able to go to the nursery and haul a 40-pound bag of bark out of my car to the garden, which I do, right now. So I live alone. I live in a big house. I have to maintain it. I want to know I have the strength and the balance and the ability to take care of me and my home to the level I can. I'm not going to do anything stupid, but, I think functional fitness is just so important. As you age, you can't sit around. You've got to keep moving, and you want to be able to be independent and take care of yourself. And the other is quality of life. Longevity is, people are living so much longer, but what kind of life do they live? And I want a quality of life that gives peace of mind to my kids, that they don't have to worry about mom at home, that I can navigate the stairs and be safe doing it, and still participate in life, with whatever I choose to do. So these are what I think fitness is all about at our age, is enjoying life with the quality you deserve and being able to take care of yourself.
Extremely well said.
Okay.
Well, Ms. Tena, before we shoot today, I just want to acknowledge you. Thank you so much for being on the show. You've inspired so many people.
I hope so.
And thank you for being a valued friend and a member since 2015. It's just been very inspiring to have you part of our program, and incredible to see your results and your success. And I know in my particular involvement, because of my other responsibilities, haven't been so present in terms of your workout protocol, but certainly my wife Tatiana has been raving about you for the longest time. So we both want to acknowledge you and just thank you for being who you are, and certainly adding a lot of value today, inspiring our audience.
Well, I hope so. Thank you for the time.
Absolutely. Well, friends, I know you got a ton of value. I certainly did. Go ahead and give us a like, a subscribe, and more importantly, share this episode with someone in need. Maybe you have a friend, maybe you have a mom or a sister that really needs to make a change in their life. And by passing this episode along, it will definitely help them on their journey. So really appreciate that advance. And again, Tena, thank you so much for being on the show today.
You're welcome, Bryce.
And friends, we'll see you in the next episode.